Hello, everybody. I am just quickly going to give you a very quick rundown of ways that you can manage the stressful time if you are not savvy with using a lot of online education stuff. This is not a time to be the most pedagogically savvy, right, or bold. This is a time to minimize harm, and so I'm going to show you the simplest way that you can do that. I'm just using regular, earbuds plugged into my computer, no fancy setup here, and I'm using a webcam built in on my MacBook Pro. So nothing special. I didn't have to go out and buy a lot of stuff. This is all stuff I already had. I do have stuff for extra setups for my own stuff. I have a Logitech camera here and better headphones. If you want to do that, that's fine. You can see the sound quality here. It will do. So you don't need to go out and buy a bunch of other stuff to make it work. You can make it work with this. So you can say here, okay, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage this? I've set up a PowerPoint here, which you can see that has basically the way that this is from one of my online classes. You can see that I just did a basic PowerPoint because they want to know what's going to happen. So the best thing you can do is manage expectations. So I have, an agenda here of what we're going to do. I give basic headlines. Remember, here's some due dates to remember to do. Then I give instructions. We debrief, more instructions, and final thoughts. So it's a very simple PowerPoint. I make this available to them online ahead of time on our Canvas system, which is fine. I also think one thing that is very, very important to do is I have handouts that I give when I do breakout groups, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a moment. This way, there is no concerns about what I want them to do, right? Which is, they can write their group member names down. They have a handout, the same sort of handout I would give them in class to do as an activity, take notes, some feedback so that they're ready for the big conversation. So they're talking amongst themselves. So they have something to add when they come back to the big group, and they can submit this to me if they feel like they're uncomfortable participating in an online session. They can submit this to me, which is a really, really nice way to do that if you are unclear how you can manage a big group or even a small group in conversation. So I take a little bit of time to just, if I was going to introduce this in a slide in class or give them a handout, I just make sure that I can give that to them in a group, right? And I've broken it down to what's the most important thing that they have to get out of the session. This I had an hour and a half session to do, which was I want them to play around with some incentive pay because I want them to see what it looks like, right? I want them to understand how difficult it is. And then I want them to understand what total rewards or sort of benefits and broad work design can look like, and how that can affect employees. So they had a case that they had to read ahead of time that I gave them reading to do. So those were my big learning outcomes. So let's look about if I open Zoom. So I've logged into Zoom here. The easiest way you can do this is just click on Start My Personal Meeting. So if you click here on Show Meeting Invitation, all that's here. This is the link. You can just copy that and email that to all your students, and they can log into it over and over and over again. It's the same stable link, which is really, really helpful, so that you don't have to manage, what's the link, where's it going? No, it's always the same, which is really nice. And you can just start and stop the meeting whenever you want to start and stop the meeting. You also have, for accessibility reasons, phone numbers that your students can call in. If they're panicking, oh my gosh, my Wi-Fi's down, what am I going to do? Tell them, don't panic, try logging in. If you can log in, great. If you can't, just call in and we will do the best we can. The biggest thing right now is just tamping down their anxiety. Let them know we're all in this together and we'll manage, right? No problem at all. Have your email open so that you can email. If you don't know how to do that on your screen, just have a phone so that you can check your email. You can give them a text message. They can text you, instant message, whatever you feel most comfortable with. So let's say we just start the meeting here. Again, this is the most simple sort of thing. And here I am. They'll say join with computer, audio, test speaker and microphone. If you don't know if you are going to be heard or not, that is fine. You'll notice mine is automatically recording. That's because I have it as a setting, but I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's join with computer microphone. I'm now using computer audio. Thank you for telling me that, Zoom. And you can see here that here's how I can mute myself, and you'll notice the green will tell me it's working. I can stop my own video. Okay, see, and there's my avatar that pops up. Beautiful, I'm sure, right? It's my class video photo. So we start this video. You'll notice here, manage participants. If you click on this, you'll see who has logged in, right? And you'll notice that they can answer yes or no, tell me to go slower or faster, raise their hands, that sort of thing. So I can close that down so it's not in my way. I can ask them polling questions. Again, this is all stuff you do not have to do. This is all you have to do, right? Talk to them, which is easy. It's fine. You do that all the time anyway, right? You can do that. Chat box, you open that up, right? Here you are. What you can do here is upload a file anytime that you want, right? So let's upload a file. Here you go. I want you to have that handout. There you are, right? Which is perfect. Note that if someone logs on after you have uploaded something in the chat box, they will not have they will not be able to access it like what has been said before because they weren't logged on at the time. So you may need to do it right before they need it. So everybody who's logged on has it. People will be able to chat with you here, which is great. You can also then at the end of class, click on those 3 dots and save the chat. So hi, if I say hello, I can save the chat. I often use this for taking roll. So I'll say, please, when you log on, type your name into the chat box. They all do that. And then it's just yet another thing that I can have. If I'm doing a short session, I can say, okay, I'll answer questions. If you don't feel comfortable saying your question, type it in the box and I'll answer it as we go. If there's a question I don't know, I can save the chat, go back, do some research, and then email everybody about it afterwards, which is really, really helpful. So that's the chat function. Now let's talk about sharing a screen. Super easy. Let's say, oh my gosh, I did a PowerPoint. What am I going to do? Here's what you do, right? You go up here, you press share. You can see everything that we have here. I'm going to do Microsoft PowerPoint share. And there you are. Make sure you share before you click into presentation mode because it won't let you share if it's already in presentation mode. There you go. Just a quirk. So now I'm in presentation mode. You can see how it looks. Beautiful. Yay. Wonderful. Go through and do stop share. Okay. You can also do share a whiteboard, which allows you to write with your finger on your trackpad or your mouse or any other sharing. But for basic purposes, all I typically use is PowerPoint, and I typically use that as often as I can. So yes, here we go. Let us do, I am trying to end my show. If you don't end your show, it gets harder to share your screen. So just so you are aware of that. So now back in here. Hello, everybody. So that's how you do sharing, talking, chat, all of that. Final thing that is really, really useful, and that is breakout groups. Press breakout rooms right here, right? Any participants that you have will go into rooms, and that does not include you as the host, right? So if I had 10, I could say, okay, I want 2 groups of 5. I could click 2 groups here and say automatically, and it would randomly put people into groups. And what will happen is they get a little pop-up invitation when you say create breakout groups. And they click on that link and it automatically takes them there, so they don't have to do anything. And then you have something that pops up on your screen that says, here are the people who have accepted their invitation to the rooms. Here are the people who haven't. Here's what rooms they're in. And what happens when you pop up on that is you can click and go from room to room. So you'll see it pop up on your screen. It will look like this, right? Create breakout rooms. You'll see it look like that, right? Here they are, assign people to the rooms if people pop in late. And then when you see these rooms happen, what you are able to do is click go to room, and you can click there and go to that room. And then you'll have another link up in this top corner up here near the recording that will say exit room, and it will take you back to the main session. Another thing that you can do here is if you click on options, move people into breakout rooms automatically. That's so they don't have to click on a link. So that takes one thing away from the students that they might not have to do, right? Which is nice. Allow them to return to the main session anytime. They can leave their breakout groups and come back to you in the main session, which is nice. You can do an automatic time period. You have 15 minutes to work on this together and come back and notify me when the time is up. And you can give them a countdown timer. So you say, okay, you have to leave in 60 seconds, and that allows them to wrap up what they're saying. Another fun thing to do, so this is recreate a room, meaning just resend everybody and add a room as well. Another thing you can do when you have students in here that you're doing is you can automatically ping everybody. So you can send a message that essentially just is a pop-up message in all of their groups. So if you're having them do an assignment and you want to add a twist to it or clarify something that someone asked you a question, you can just ping a message to everyone. Or I usually do a 3 minutes, wrap up what you're doing sort of message to everyone. Another thing is they can ping you, and you will get an alert. Even if you're in someone else's breakout room, you'll get an alert that says you're needed in this room, and you can click on the button, go straight to their room, and answer whatever question that they have. All of this is very, very simple kind of managing of Zoom. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't need special equipment. You can just go on here and talk to people. If you don't like your webcam, if you don't have a nice office or things like that to talk from, you can totally just call in without video, right? You can also record like I'm recording right here without any students at all. So if you wanted to do a PowerPoint and talk so they can see your face and do it, and then create captions, right, for that later on in YouTube or somewhere else, or put together an agenda for folks, or have a PowerPoint, you can do all of that and then upload the video, so you can do it in what we call an asynchronous mode, which means not at the same time. And that's okay too, because all that matters right now is dialing down to what the most important thing you think your students need to know to be able to get through this semester, managing their anxiety and your own, and figuring out how we can get through this together. So hopefully this was helpful. We can all do this, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye.